Oh, gotta get that coffee heated up. A little chilly up in here this morning. Let's see. Dude, thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much, man. All right, let's see here. Let's get this off. Let's go here. All right, let's see here. All right. All right, guys. I'll take that branding off. We all know it starts at 9. I'm sitting here behind the scenes right now. So we're not officially started yet because I gotta heat up my coffee. I got my Black Rifle coffee mug this morning, hooking it up. So I'll put my intro on here in a minute. Today's broadcast is gonna be pretty fun. It's gonna be more of a technical aspect because so many people asked questions about yesterday's alphabet font creation. So I'm going to show you guys a couple tools I use to make things happen. Oh, man. Who all's out there? Don't forget, click on that link so I know where you're coming from and I know who you are in the comments. Man, oh, man. Woke up this morning, got all kinds of snow out there. Perks of living in Pennsylvania, I guess. Don't hesitate, guys. You guys sign in, and then from the sign in, let's get some comments popping. What's going on, John? How you doing? We're getting ready to we got 2 minutes to start this, so I just figured I'd rock a little bit of fun time in the beginning. Oh, how's my audio? Is it too far away? Is it popping? Are we sounding good? Give me some feedback, people. Come on. Let's see what we got here. We got watchers on my personal and my business Facebook. No YouTube viewers yet. Let's get that popping. Guys, if you could do me a favor, whenever you're watching this, share this out to people, please. I want to get a broader range of people. I want to get different questions and stuff like that. All right. I'm going to mute my microphone, and then I'm going to put up our intro screen. Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. How you doing today? It is Tuesday morning, November 17th, 2020. We're on our way to Thanksgiving. Right after that, we got Christmas. And hopefully that new year brings in a little bit better of a year for small businesses and families. Little recap yesterday. We did some signs. I got hung up on a font. And those of you that know me know that I can't let well enough alone. If I don't know something, I gotta figure it out. So yesterday I did a sign. I figured out every one of the fonts that were listed on it. And turns out they were proprietary fonts that weren't posted on anything. So we got some comments rolling in this morning. We got Robert Johnson. Rob Johnson was a guest last week. He's teaching out in Vegas this week. So Rob, thank you so much for the happy wishes. We got John. John's always a mainstay. Thank you for watching. We got 2 comments from John. I got to get some music playing. Okay, I can do that. I'll have to find some royalty-free music. So today for me is a special day at the Croft CNC DIY CNC Pro headquarters. We've got a special little thing here. My wonderful wife got me a birthday cake. I turned 40 today. I'm almost fully alive. I almost have all my body parts in me. We're good to go. So we did the recap, and in that recap, we went ahead and talked about creating a custom font. So there are a couple different tools that I use, and people were asking about, all the different ways. Some of them I just use a base product, and I go ahead and modify that in a design program. There are some of them that I genuinely just create, and this harkens back to days of learning tattooing and stuff like that. So what we got is my kind of go-to for custom. Carlos, thank you very much. My go-to for custom in my head fonts, like I envision a sign. I envision a sign like this. I might actually create that sign out of thin air, and I'll give myself let's say line framework, and I'll just start sketching out like this, like it's literally rudimentary, I guess. I guess is what we would go with. Combination of how I'll set up my lines. And then I'll start mapping it out. So like I'll actually create my little wraparound on the H. And as I start doing that, I'll start forming this out. So now I have that little curlicue, kind of harkens to a little Tim Burton-esque action. Okay. Now I want it to come to a tail. And I've got my first leg of my H. Okay. So now I'll actually just draw this in nice and dark. And when I do this, I'm not really concentrating on staying in the lines or anything like that. What I'm doing, now I want to make this kind of sympathetic there, because I know I want to put a filigree roll down on the bottom. I'll start getting my H assembly like that. So now let's create the next line of the H. How do I want to do that? We're going to loop that in like so. And come down. And we'll blast the edges out a little. Let's pull that in like that. Check that out. The H is starting to come to fruition. What's up, Alicia? How are you, honey? I've been following the adventures of new mom. Congratulations. I had no idea. I would have gotten you a nice sign made had I had known. You got to let your little brother know this stuff. Let's see. On the crossbar, we're going to fill this H in. Like that. Okay, so now I want something that's going to arc but come to a point. There we go. Just something like that. Okay. So now I have my base H. What I can do is I can use a regular computer scanner. I can scan that in. Once I scan that in, I scan it in as a 300 DPI image, dots per inch. I knew this was going to be a big one, so I had to get out the big cup. I love Black Rifle coffee. Whenever I first started my company, I did ornaments for them, and I sent them some American flag Punisher skulls and some tattered American flags that I do. And it was pretty awesome. So I'm a big proponent of the Black Rifle coffee just because it's high test, high class. So, all right. So now we have our design here. We can scan that in to the in as an image. After we get the image in, Seth, what's up? We can then import that into a graphics program such as paint.net or anything like that. So now we can actually do it on the computer, but there's a really cool product out there, and I've got a couple of these. I'm going to show you a couple of them. So one of them is a small format Wacom digital tablet. Okay. And what happens is this stylus is nothing more than similar to your mouse pad or your mouse. It has buttons here, has an eraser point here, and I can assign all these different setups. Okay. In the Wacom tablet setup. Then what I can do is in the drawing program, I can draw this. It works in Adobe Illustrator and everything like that. But what I can also do is I can set my paper on top of this, and then I can basically trace in. And once you get that, you can start playing around, and you can trace in and modify based on what you're doing. So that's just a little thing that I do. This is a larger format version. Same type of setup, larger pen, and then I have a much larger version for full t-shirt graphic prints. I don't think that I use it as much as I should or that I can, but it's not really pertinent to a lot of the stuff I do anymore. I don't do a lot of graphic design for t-shirts or anything like that anymore. But one of the other things that I use is this. It's called a light box. It's just a LED box with a somewhat transparent top to it. And whenever you put a piece of paper over it, it's a little hard to see, but you could see through the paper. And what that allows me to do is trace an image. There we go. Now we're starting to get it. So for me, if I'm doing a Halloween sign, like that, I can actually trace the font into the setup. Okay. And I can then go in and modify it. So this is nice when you're doing kind of trace products. When you're not tracing products, it really doesn't have any merit unless you want to shine through the paper just to kind of see your line weights and stuff like that. But it's really not useful. We got, this is my uncle that lives down in St. Mary's, Georgia, Tim Pugh. He was Command Master Chief of Kings Bay. Thank you for your service, Unc. We talk a lot about my family's military service. My dad and my uncle both were submariners, and I'm very proud of them. Thank you. All right. So now we've got at this point we've got a bunch of different things that we can do. So let's hook up a digital tablet. I'm going to use my Huion digital tablet. Let's see here. All right, that's plugged in. Now, this one is not as user-friendly as the Wacom because of the way that things are positioned on it. What I mean by that is my cord comes down around the opposite side. Kind of no matter where you're going, it's a rough one. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to bring this up. Let's do paint.net. Do paint.net, and we need to share screen. All right, there we go. Okay, so with these digital tablets, one of the hard parts about this is as you're doing it, you have to wear a glove that protects your palm from touching. All right. So now, if you see, let's see if I can angle this down at all. Okay. So now you can see on the screen, I can reposition. I can go up. If I push down on this, it's just like a mouse. Okay. I can undo all the way back. So now I can actually take my H, we'll go down to pencil, and I can trace where I want things. Okay, I don't want that. Do something like that. Now I can basically just do whatever I want with it and design that way. Let's do this. Okay. We're going 10. Okay. Now, the closer you get to this tip actually pushes in. Okay. That activates it. It has a magnetic tip, and basically you just move forward with it that way. Okay. And it takes some getting used to, because if you lift your hand up too much, you actually lose contact. So if you want to start at a certain place, you've got to lift your hand up and then get it within the area. And you just got to kind of play around with it. And notice my paper's not on like it should be. I'd probably tape this down a little more. And then I have to actually set up my canvas. Don't save. New. So I would set up my canvas. $300. We're going to be in landscape mode. So we're going to be 11 by 8.5. Okay, now we know that our edge is over here. Okay. So now I can start transferring everything in just by maneuvering around. Okay. And as I'm doing this, I can also move onto this. Okay. So these are nice whenever you want to do a custom piece. Now I can take that, something like that. You can do a lot of the same stuff with a program on an iPad, and the program is called Procreate, and that's what a lot of the tattoo artists are using. Or is that another process? Hammerhead was asking, is this writing the program at the same time, or is that another process? That's a whole nother process. This is actually just getting your idea into the design software. I like this. Okay. So these are just different ways of getting the artistic idea down and moving forward that way. You know, so that's kind of how I try to keep it. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually I'll put a circle up here and go from there. And that will allow me to actually orientate all of this stuff. So I move my mouse over to that circle, move off of it, move back down, and then I can draw and everything like that. So it's actually not Friday the 13th. I didn't realize that that was on my PNG file. I'm going to have to deal with that. So those are different ways we can create different signs. And a lot of people don't realize how many different tools I actually use. I mean, once I get into designing something, I have this cool little thing. This is a wireless 3D mouse, and it has mouse buttons there, and there. And then this swivels and turns and does all kinds of cool stuff. It's a joystick system, and I can rotate. Basically does everything that an Xbox controller does, except for it does it in the design software. So this tool alone, back when I first got it, it was a couple $100. Now I think you can pick them up for like $60. And unless you're doing a lot of revolved 3D modeling, you don't really have any use for it. So it's kind of a useless tool now, but back whenever it first came out, and you felt like you had to have the best of everything to get anything done, I was dumb and I went out and bought it. So those are different tablet setups. These are different buttons that you can assign in the programs. I don't really have any issue with that. So there's that. We went over the light box, the tracing, and stuff like that. I went over the fact that I found my fonts, all my fonts. So I was pretty excited about that aspect of it. Let's stop screen sharing. Let's go over to branding. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to pull up a project that we did in 3D. Most of you guys see me do signs for the plasma or the router or the laser. I also do my own 3D. Let's see. So this is a program called Mesh Mixer. There are better. Hold on, I'm trying to size my window here. There we go. Okay, there are better programs for this. However, this is free, and I use it a lot for my 3D renderings. Whenever I make my point clouds and items such as that for 3D printing, this was a tool that a company in Chicago actually asked me to make. it holds a specialty bobbin and goes into a specialty machine. But you can see it's all a revolved surface. So this is where I would use a mouse like this. So I would actually have two mouses. This would be on my right hand, and this mouse would be on my left hand. I'd actually switch it over to the opposite side, and you have to be somewhat ambidextrous to do this. But if I plug this in, I don't know if I have any battery on it because it's just been sitting, but let's take a look. Oh, I do have battery. Okay. So now I'm sitting here rotating with my right hand or my left hand, and I'm able to rotate around, down. I'm able to revolve the surface. Okay. Something akin to that. Just by doing those type of movements, I can revolve around the surface. And I can check my assembly and go through that. So this was actually a really cool project. Let's go to view there. All right. So this was a really cool project because it had certain dimensions that it had to have, but then these surfaces are radiused and joined, and then they 3D printed this tool in a matter of a few minutes. And they were getting this tool from a company in Germany, but the price was astronomical. They went through them like you wouldn't believe. And they had to have the German company make one for each size of the part that they were making. So this was a way for us to bring everything back. They're doing their printing in-house. All right. They're now doing their printing in-house, and whenever they need a tool, it takes them a few minutes just to create the new sizing, and then about an hour or less print time, and they can actually upgrade their tooling on the fly. And I do that for a lot of companies, like press brake dies, different form dies and stuff like that, for small run manufacturing. And it works out really well. The end. That was the end of that. So that's kind of how we do it. Let's make a part in Mesh Mixer. So let me bring Mesh Mixer back up. All right. So we're going to import a plane, and we're going to share screen, application window. Okay. Cross that out. Okay, guys. So now this is something I would start with a mesh mix. We're gonna go there. We're going to accept that. We're then going to select it. We're going to go to edit. We're going to transform. We're going to go to 0, 0, 0. And now we're going to set our size. This is in millimeters, so we're going to do 25. And we're going to do 12.5. And this is a little weird because the world view is actually Y is up in the air rather than Z. You can change that, but I don't necessarily worry about it. Okay, now I'll flip that around, transform. And we'll go -90. Accept. Align. Cancel. Transform. 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. So let's make okay, that's a gold bar. Let's imagine that's a gold bar. All right, we'll go up. We'll go to views. We're going to show our object browser. We're going to delete our plane. I have no desire to see that. So now I can 3D print a box. But a box really isn't that fun to print. So let's go in. We're going to add a locator. And we're going to accept that. We're now going to edit that. We're going to make that let's make that 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter. Okay, and 1 millimeter. Accept. Okay. Now we could take this and we can do a duplicate. We'll shift, we'll duplicate, and we're going to move the duplicated parts to -15. Let's say -25. All right. Accept. And now we can play around with this in terms of where are we putting the alignment pin. Okay, so we could take that, and we can actually do a Boolean difference. Now this tells you how much information is there. I'm running a super fast computer. I shouldn't say super fast. I'm running a pretty fast computer, and it's still taking this long to refine the object. So now let's say I was doing an injection mold or a silicone casting mold, something of that nature. This is where this would come in handy, because you would have a locating pin set up and go from there. Let's cancel that. We're going to cancel this. We're then going to go in and we're going to do a solids refine. Come on now. So we'll just go in, we'll refine it into a solid. Once we have it into a solid, it'll be much easier to turn around and make it into a Boolean difference. And what that difference will do is it will actually subtract one solid shape from the other solid shape. And once we have that, tell you what we'll do. We're going to task manager. We're going to end that task. We're going to end that task. We're going to end that task. We're then going to go in and we're going to open that. We're then going to open that. All right. So now these would be alignment pins. And what I could do with that all right. My computer got a little glitchy there. All right. So now I can actually go up here. I can go to edit. I can go to duplicate. Now I can select that duplicate there, and I can translate it up to there. Accept it. All right. Now I can make both of those a solid. And what'll happen is if I actually flip this over, I can make these prongs line up. So if I have a nice flat surface, I can actually make those line up with each other. So if I do 180 and move that there. Let's take that down to 0.1. Okay. Now if we look, there we be. Okay, so that is actually off center a little bit. whenever it was designed, which is what they want. But this just goes to show, like, it looks centered, but once you do this, it's not. So now we can actually go in and replicate this as one piece, one solid piece, and redo this whole shaft right here. So that's how we can create custom tooling. All right. So it's that simple, people. You can do this stuff at home. We got John in here. What's up, John? How are you, sir? Let's see. Did you get my message? No, I did not get your message. Well, I may have gotten your message. I got a lot of messages. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and do a custom created sign for the plasma. So we'll bring that in. My computer is really glitchy this morning. I must have something running in the background, or not enough memory for running this program and the design program. I usually don't have that running at the same time. So, all right. Let's see about the wood. Oh, yes, I did see that. Yes, it is. Yes, that is a good price and a good deal. John is creating his first in tables. So pretty proud of you for that, man. Okay, so we're going to make a love sign. We're going to do LOVE, and we are going to use Bondi. Okay. We're going to take this. We're going to move it. We're now going to move it here as such. Okay. We're going to hit X. That's going to link those two. X, link those two. Okay. Now we need to take this, clip it there, orthogonal for that. And we're going to X, X, X. We're going to join all of those. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. All right, we got that designed. Let's size it. Let's make it a 15 by 15. We're going to go up here. We're going to select this. We're going to Control V, uniformed. Okay. At this point, I'm going to come in. I'm going to import this. We're going to look on here. I'm going to do this. And we're going to turn off the bitmap. We're going to move this in. And let's do a scale. And when we do that, we'll move this down. And don't hesitate. Come on in. Get on camera. Say hello.
Hey, just make sure you wish him a happy birthday today.
Thank you, baby. That is the owner of Croft CNC. She keeps me on the straight and narrow. She got me chocolate covered strawberries for my birthday. One of my favorites. She takes care of me. She got me Dunkin' coffee, caramel swirl latte, whole milk sugar, no whipped cream. I like it. Okay. So now let's move. Let's do some proper sizing here. We're going to cross that over. We're going to hit R. Bring that down. And why would we do that? Because we want to tie everything in together. Okay. Now we've got that part. We'll join it. Okay, we have a closed vector set up now. We can delete the O. We have an L and an N. Orthogonal. Let's do that. Let's hit H.004 to smooth that out. We're now going to move this into place. Okay. Let's scale that. Actually, let's go there. Now let's scale N. All right, scale N. We'll shrink that up a little bit. And we're going to rotate. We'll move. And we'll join. Now we need to zoom in. We need to make sure it doesn't get too 5. offset point 7, enter. Okay. There we go. And that's our sign for today. It's a nice, simple love sign. You get in there, you make it, you design it. We can do the same thing in, let's see here, no intersections, H.01. Okay. So now you can do the same thing for the router or laser. We'll go in. Let's open up vCarve desktop. We're going to do 15 by 15. Let's say it's 3/4 wood. Okay, share screen. All right. Now, for this one, we'll do 15 by 15 box. We're going to do a text LO return VE. We are going to do like a block. That's pretty good. Okay, I like that. Stretch characters. Stretch characters. We're going to close this. We're going to vectorize all of those. We're then going to move these two to interact there. We're then going to move these two to interact there. And then we'll go in and trim that, trim that. Trim that. And we'll just leave this. We'll do exactly this. Trim, trim. Now we'll make this 15 by 15. Apply, close, center. Delete. There's that. So we have our whole assembly here. We can now go over. We'll actually go. Let's keep that depth. We should be able to fit a 1/4 inch end mill. No problem. Calculate. Okay. Now, one thing I want to do with this is like these sharp corners. Let's go back and we're going to fillet these with a 0.15, and that gives us enough for an 1/8 inch. Let's join this. Okay. We'll fill it. All right. And these are little things that I don't know why people neglect to look at and do, but it makes machining so much easier and better for you when you do it. And I don't know why that one's not taking. There has to be an issue there. I bet you I know why. There was an overlap there, I'm sure. It's exactly what that is. It has to be. It's not. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Why it won't let me. It'll pull all the other ones in, but it won't pull that one in. So now okay. All that looks good. That looks good. Okay, so now we can go over, close that. We'll select profile. We'll drop that down to an 1/8 inch. And right now I'm just playing around with stuff. So we'll calculate that. We need to do that on the inside, not the outside. Okay. And last but not least, we will profile this one, but we want it on the outside. There is no tabs holding this. Well, in any event, there's your sign. That's your tool pathing. That's your render. If I output these, I'll go Gerbil, visible toolpaths to one file. We can't use all of those toolpaths because the first one, nope. Oh, because they're all different. I did a 1/4 inch here, an 1/8 inch, 0, and a 1/8 inch 2 flute. So none of them are set up with the same tooling. Excuse me. Okay. So now we have everything set up there. And that's that. That's a pretty simple one. And let's go back to this one. Okay. So who do we have out here? Who's on what? We got Croft CNC. The business page. So probably saying it's Taser, I think. I don't know. It's been an hour. I gave you guys an hour this morning. You good with calling it? Or do you have anything in particular you want me to go over? Let me know. Questions, comments, concerns. Let's open this bad boy up. My phone is going crazy right now. Let's see here. Trying to get through all this stuff. Got a lot of you guys are on here giving questions on the Facebook and YouTube channel. They're coming through. That seems really good. Okay. Jeez. Had no idea there were that many. Okay. All right, I think I got them all, guys. As far as I can tell, all of you guys, I've answered all the questions. We don't have any technical aspects to go over. Recap for today, we went over hand drawing, scanning in, touching up custom font. Same thing with a lightbox and a digital tablet. We then created a quick love sign that you can create to kind of go at it. do your thing. All right, guys. Have a good one.